Hi everyone, and welcome back to our module on medical school. I'd like to start this module off by talking through some high-yield graphs, and what I want to talk about is the medical student stress curve, which looks something like this, where this is the stress of applying to and getting into medical school, this is the stress of preparing for and taking the Step 1 exam, this is the stress of your, quote, scholarly period, and this is the stress of applying to and getting into residency. Now let me clear away my ink to show you the updated medical student stress curve that appears something like this, where that is the stress of applying to and getting into medical school. This flat segment stands for your first 2 years of medical education, and this stands for Step 2. And this, of course, for the rest of your clerkships. Now what board examiners are going to love to go after is what in the world is the cause of this shift in the medical student stress curve, which serves as a nice segue to talk about the Step 1 grading update. Now, as you may know, the old score reporting system utilized a 3-digit numerical score to tell you, with the first digit, whether or not you're going to be a doctor, with the second digit, what type of doctor you're eligible to be, and with the third digit, on a scale of 0 to 10, how physically attractive you are. Now, with the updated score reporting system, it will simply be graded as passage or failure, one more option than I typically have in the eyes of my father. Moving on, we need to talk about what's next. What objective measurements can residency program directors use to screen applicants? Some proposed measurements include the applicant's APGAR scores, because dermatology wants to know if you've ever been anything less than a 10, and BMI. Now, all jokes aside, we're going to be using the Step 2 CK exam. No one knows what the APGARs even mean, and we've already been using the BMI for years. Now, what you might not know is there have been updates to the meaning of this acronym, CK, such that it used to stand for clinical knowledge, no more. It now stands for Step 2, career killer. Now I want to talk a little bit about the third year by giving you a useful mnemonic to use while you're out on the wards, something I like to call the 3 F's of third year. And I'm going to use this pie chart to show you how relatively important each of these F's are. Now the first F here represents the facts that you know. This second F represents the faxes that you send. And this last F, and the biggest of all of them, is the facts that you give. Now moving right along, we'll talk about our final thing, which is being a viable team member during your third year. The number one thing you can do is to work really, really hard and impress your attendings with your work ethic. The second thing you can do is know a lot about your patients and help your residents to look good. But the absolute most important thing that you can know as a third-year medical student is, of course, Spanish. And that concludes our module on medical school.